This meeting is being recorded.
Excellent.
It's weird how it does that twice now. Anyway, hello and welcome to the April 8th edition of the Contributor Com sub-project meeting of SIG ContribEx and the Kubernetes open source project. That's a lot of things. We have the giggles this morning, so that's a good start. We are a part of the CNCF, which is part of the Linux Foundation. We operate under a code of conduct, which basically says be respectful of your fellow attendees and speakers and be excellent to each other. So keep that in mind. And we already had an item that we started talking about, and I don't see anyone new on the list. So if someone is new and wants to introduce themselves or isn't new and wants to introduce themselves, feel free to let us know in the chat and we'll come back to that. But to start off, Hina, you were asking a question about your action item.
Yes.
Could you repeat?
Okay, so there's a small change that needs to be made for the PR to go through. But my question was, are we going to have any maintainers on the list?
And this is for the list that manages our Slack group.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
When you say maintainers.
So, and here's the hard part is I can't actually pull open the PR because I can't see.
Oh, no.
But there's members and maintainers.
I can bring it up. And share.
Okay,
yeah. I see it. There's a maintainer section.
Yeah. So
oh, I see. Interesting.
And they have to be part of Kubernetes and GitHub to be a maintainer.
Yes.
And they have to be maintainers there. So
so you need to be a maintainer of this thing?
No, I don't think I don't think I could be.
Well, you could. We could figure that out, but
okay.
I guess hang on.
I don't know if we need any maintainers explicitly listed.
Oh my god, what did I just do?
I can ask on the PR, but
if we don't need it, I'd say probably ignore it for now. But the question of who maintains this list is a valid one. I know Paris has been pushing it for us to restart defining roles within this group, which we kind of got away from because we weren't really following the roles when we had them. But it might be time for us to start reconsidering that, and we might want to make this part of a role, though for now, I think the responsibility kind of falls to the leadership council, since that is the type of role that we have to find. Those are my thoughts. Chris, do you have thoughts as well?
Yes, Harris actually mentioned
for another role.
Yeah, like we can create these roles and people can fill them. And that's how you can become an org member. That's kind of what I was getting at, you know.
Yeah.
And same with Primsoir, like you're doing a lot of work in the community, right? Like if you need like social media, whatever you need, like we can come up with a title and get you into the org. That's the least of my worries, right?
Primsoir like has enough stuff to become an org member.
Yeah, like
you've got that open.
Yeah.
It looks like so.
Okay, cool. Like where is it open? Because I'll go +1 it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
We would love to sponsor you, Perniswar. Do you have the issue open yet, actually? Like he posted in the Slack with like a bunch of stuff that he's done, but I don't know if he's made the PR yet.
Yeah, I just posted it in the Slack.
Perfect.
The issue open because I didn't have sponsors yet.
Oh,
okay.
Buddy, hold tight.
Oh, you did have sponsors already. You just didn't know it. Fix that wording.
You can't see it, but you can feel it.
At least we hope so.
Which PR?
I hope I linked it in the for Perniswar. I have no clue.
Yeah,
but
sorry.
I'm also going in blind, so if you have something that's directed towards me, please use my name because I'm like I don't know what's going on.
I've texted Chris and Slack DMs.
Slack DMs, thank you. just let us know. Let us know the thingy and we'll go get it and we'll go +1 it.
As soon as there's a PR for us to +1.
I
Happy
just
to-
put it in the meeting chat, the Zoom chat.
Zoom chat. I don't see it. There it
There
is.
it is.
Okay.
Oh, the Slack. I have the Slack. I'm looking for the PR to be an org member.
Yeah.
Yeah, Punesh will start a new issue and just right away CC all of us. We'll put a +1.
Yeah, dude, it'll happen today probably.
Yeah. So the GitHub link to the PR is what
Yeah.
we need.
Do you know how to do that? Is the best
Yes.
question, because if you don't, we need to fix that.
Yeah.
No, I know how to do that.
Okay,
I'll
cool.
do it right away.
No problem.
Thank you, everyone.
No problem at all. No. This is awesome. We love onboarding people.
Yes. We're here to help. Not that we're particularly good at it sometimes, but we try. We all learn together.
Yes. And sometimes we learn it's not our fault. It can be an upstream dependency.
Indeed.
Anyways.
Anyway.
So
Perniswar is in the works. We'll have to remove Jason. Is that what you have going on in it right now? And it says changes requested.
yeah, poll.
I don't think these have been updated yet, have they?
No.
I mean, we might as well wait until we get Perniswar, or should we? Well, we should. We could.
I mean,
fix
he
it and
can't
just-
see anyway, so
That's
I mean, we
true,
got
so we might as
time.
well It
At
shouldn't take us
minimum
long.
2 days at the doctor, so
Okay.
Okay.
I can see lightly. It's just I can see a screen.
That's
And so
okay.
That's no
Yeah.
fun. Yeah.
I'm
That's,
just, so I'm just eyes closed listening to this podcast, but I wanted to ask this question.
Yeah, that's great.
yeah. So Bob's guidance, making GitHub admins the maintainers. I think that's fine. And then everybody else is just a member, right? Yeah,
And so
I think.
for the maintainers, who would that be? Would it just
Yeah,
carry
it's
over?
the GitHub admin alias. Let me
Okay.
find that. 'Cause, well, hell, it's got to be in here somewhere, shouldn't it? Should be.
I mean, worst case, I can look it up when I can look things.
No. I just need to just
It was such a small thing. I'm glad that we needed time for Perniswar because you know when there's a big thing and you can't do it, it's fine. But if it's a small thing where it's like, oh, this
it's
would've taken
annoying. Yeah.
minutes, it just
Ugh.
eats at my soul.
Yeah, I hear you. Whoa. What did you just do? Oh, get not found. All right. Well, I have bigger problems. Great.
We
Yikes.
should also find the org membership PR documentation or an example for Perniswar
Yeah, I know.
to share. I'm
I've
not gonna
gone
find that
through
right this
some of
second.
them.
Oh, do you have some handy?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
If you could grab
I
a
can do it
couple
right
of links and share it with us, that would be lovely.
like some example PRs.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
So
going through some issues in the org membership repo only.
And you said that the GitHub admins are going to be what we put in for the maintainers on the PR?
Yeah, I just gotta find them.
Okay.
I know they're in the owner's file for ContribEx. I just gotta find it.
Also, just looking over the Teams file, should we go over just update it, like the contributor site admins, contributor site maintainers?
We
because I see.
We should update our README too. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Like these
Lots of things
kind of
update.
happen like in similar like patterns.
Yeah.
And I had also updated this, I think, without Matt. Or no, maybe this is a separate list. I updated our Slack to remove Matt last time.
Okay. The Slack bot. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Which I have the PR for at the bottom of our action item list. So that is in the, which file is this actually? Slack config user group. So that's a separate
There you
list.
go. Yeah. Oh, damn it.
So this is the
Not
team.
there. Okay, let's see. Wait, Kubernetes/org should have all of them, shouldn't it? Shouldn't it? At least the aliases. Nope. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm searching for GitHub. Is that the right thing to be searching for? I don't know. Let's just ask in Slack. Unless somebody knows it.
What are you looking for?
The alias for GitHub management.
Not a clue.
I don't know if this is going rogue, but we could always copy and paste from the other groups. I think the maintainers were pretty much the same. I would have to double check. But
It seems
if you
like
don't
one.
get an answer and you want to go like the MacGyver scrappy way,
Nope, I found it.
okay.
No, wait. No, I didn't. It's a label, not an alias. Okay. Weird. I'm just gonna ask and I'll drop it in the issue when I have an answer. Should not be this hard.
So we'll get Perniswar added to the org. Need to remove Matt from that list and Jason since he's not a member and he hasn't been on for a while. And for the maintainers, we'll find that alias and get that to you. But it's not urgent because can't see anyway. So
Yeah,
like it.
I can't do anything right now, so I got time. I hope that
Yeah.
that reassures you that you've got more than 10 minutes too. You know,
yeah.
Yeah.
You got
Like
days.
this subproject rarely has like time sensitive stuff, but when it's time sensitive, you'll know
Mhm.
it.
Indeed.
And then if the one that's also I had two. If my next one is right up, that one is just blocked on this one. So
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
No worries. We'll get
So
we'll
it
get
waits.
and I hope I didn't have more, but if I do, I definitely
Nope,
won't
those
do
are it.
You won't do it yet.
Those are
And
it for now.
Perfect.
All right. So shall we continue going through the open action items, I suppose?
Sure.
The next one is Rachel on? No. But got some of the other folks, right? The next item is the auto generation of blog tweets, which there was an update on last time that it was blocked because we couldn't use the action directly.
Oh, that sucks.
The way that it was implemented, there was a feature that was needed.
Okay.
So have there been any updates on that? Any folks who were working on that? Tarva, Avinash, you all worked on that in the last week?
Visual was busy
We
last week.
haven't met for a session yet, so no updates as of now.
Sounds good.
Yeah, you put at the top. Visual was busy last week. I'm assuming that means this week. So to do this week, meaning next week, it's not confusing at all. Because it's
That
what,
makes
Friday night over
sense.
there, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, like, you know, time zones.
Yeah. That makes sense. Okay, so we'll move on from that one. Check in with Matt about Twitter Together issue, which we assigned to Allison.
Allison, really?
Yeah, she came
Why
in
would
one
we-
time.
Why would we put that on her?
Well, she volunteered for it. She
Oh,
wanted it,
wow. Okay.
but she hasn't been back. So we'll have to figure that out now. It was just to check for updates on the Twitter Together thing.
Yeah, like there, and then we had an alternate project that somebody might have been working on too.
For the Twitter Together?
No, sorry, we had somebody
No.
actually working on this. Okay,
Yeah.
Matt IPv4.
The,
Cool.
one of the maintainers of that project. He said that he was going to do it on a live stream, and we were all like, oh, we want to watch the live stream. And now we're just
All right,
sitting
so the
here.
maintainer 19 days ago said, I'm still very underwater with life, and it will be this way until May, but things do
Oh.
clear up a little. If you get blocked by anything, please let me know. And I'll try to find a time to help out as soon as possible. Otherwise, I plan to have time for Twitter Together in May. Well,
Well,
sounds like you need more maintainers is what I want to comment. And like,
you can comment that on every open source project out there.
volunteer. I don't want to like, yeah, like,
Yeah. Bob had been talking to this person directly, I think,
yeah.
about it.
All right.
So we could try to check in with Bob on it. Do we want to do that?
Yeah, I kind of just want to check in with you, Matt, IPv4 guy.
Okay. So I'm going to assign you to that.
Thanks.
Uh,
Looks like he goes by Matt IPv4 everywhere. So let's see if he's in our Slack. Yes, he is. Beautiful. It's amazing when things just work.
righty. I have reassigned that one to you.
Thank you.
And so we'll move on to the next item, which is role description for community meeting interface, which we're just kind of waiting on, right? No updates on that, Avinash?
Nope.
Cool. When is the next community meeting? Do you know? I feel like I ask this every single week.
I'm not sure because recently I came across a PR from Laura about a new roles, add community meeting roles and update. They are updating the document as I mentioned in the previous meet that they
Yeah.
are doing some changes. So I'm not sure if this month that is going to happen. Still need to talk to wife.
Well, there's definitely not going to be one next month. So, because next month is KubeCon and those
Yeah, we're
types
not
of
gonna have
meetings
a
always
community
fall off.
Yeah. We won't, if it's a KubeCon month, we won't have a community meeting. Because we're technically meeting in person. I don't think that'll change. It hasn't already. All right, Matt says he hasn't thought about that PR in a while, so that's good that I pinged him.
So it goes.
Mhm. That's fine. I mean, you know, I'll work with him on that if I need to.
If it gets done in May, then it gets done.
Yeah,
As long as it
I
gets done
mean,
eventually.
we're kind of just
Maybe we'll have it for NA.
against a real account and then writing a load more tests. Okay. Let me know if you need help. Easy.
I'll come back to another item on that later, but next item on our list is Deba planning a tweet about deprecations and removals blog, which came out already and you've marked it as done. So
Yeah, last night, I guess. Yes, I think
Awesome.
the cache minutes.
I'm going to count that as an update big win because we skipped that section. Did you submit the PR last night or did it go out last night? I haven't checked the.
I submitted and instantly Crash got approved. Like,
Okay, perfect. Removals and deprecations. Excellent. Okay. And then another release item. Tweet about upcoming release webinar. Have there been any plans on that? Are they actually going to do one or not?
I think it's getting delayed by a bit for now. We'll be getting mails about it.
It's going to be after KubeCon.
Not about the release is getting delayed. I think by a week or two.
There's still
So
potential.
Potentially.
Potentially.
yes, yes,
The
yes.
webinar usually is not until like a month or so after that either.
Which, yeah, puts
Yes.
us during KubeCon month. So that'll be interesting
Exactly. So
in and of itself. Yeah.
Yeah. It could be done earlier. I remember for 123, I was asked to do it actually later or earlier, but it was around Christmas time. So I didn't want to do it around Christmas time. So in 122, I think it was like 2 months after the release, or even 3 months after the release, or no, 2 months. Yeah.
So I'm just going to leave it on here as a thing that we should watch out for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um,
The whole release cycle is just,
It's a thing.
it's a thing.
The next
want
one
it
is
to be.
another release thing too. It's the tweet about feature blogs that will come out after the release comes out. Do we have?
Feature blogs update are like it will be the feature blogs will be released by the end of next week. So yeah,
Okay.
might be the next week we will be having some blogs like tweets. But I'm not sure which all blogs should we tweet and which all blogs should post to the Kubernetes IO Twitter account. We basically deal with the upstream part. So
I think the Kubernetes blogs that maintainers need to read are the ones we should be tweeting about for sure, right? So
yeah,
anything about Docker Shim, anything about, you know, the release process itself, where it may stand. Yeah, that's important stuff to tweet out. As far as like, you know, like sub projects or anything like that, that's where it's kind of we draw the line. If it's a sub project used by a ton of maintainers, maybe, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, maintainer focus, that's all. Or contributor focus. As I forget the name
Generally
of this
speaking,
whole
we want
thing.
that blog automation. So if it's coming out in a blog,
Yeah.
ideally we would tweet it.
I mean, you know, I hesitate, but I've got a pro if this and that account. I mean, I can wire it up if I have to. Even if it's just temporary until we get an automated fix, I'd be okay with that. I don't know how y'all feel about it, because it would live under my account. I don't think anybody wants that for long.
I don't think that we desperately need it right this second. So
Okay. Somebody's pounding on your desk about it. Tell them we're working on it. Chris has a shortcut if you desperately need it right now, but it's not pretty.
For blog tweet automation.
Yeah. For blog tweet automation, right? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's just an easy one, right? Like copy title, link, maybe a sentence, done.
So next item is one for me, which I want to make some updates to the repo about this new action item section of this, and also just kind of go over it.
Yeah.
But I haven't had time to do that. So
Adding note about repo, about how action items will go away the week after they're done.
yeah,
Okay.
basically the process for maintaining this section of the note stock.
Cool.
Figured it was kind of a role responsibility. And since we're talking about creating roles and everything, just kind of need to go over that stuff.
And at
Oh,
some
okay.
point, you know, we need to just be like, okay, what roles do we have? What roles do we need? And just marry the two up. Right?
Yeah.
Like, as far as like, here are the people we have. If we want them in a role, we need to officially put them in one.
Yep.
Or if they want to be in a role. I should have said that way.
That's a good point.
Let's see.
And-
Marketing team, read me.
The next one is the removing Matt from the contributor com Slack group, which was approved and merged, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I think we're done there. Wasn't it? I think it was.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yes, pull request successfully merged and closed. So
Perfect.
that one's done.
Okay.
But I'm just going to replace that with another action item for myself, which is I'm hoping to, by the next meeting, get our doc for creating KubeCon, the KubeCon tweet schedule together, like I've done for the last several KubeCons. So for anyone new to that who hasn't been part of it yet, I've done this two times now, I think, 2-3 times.
Done a very good job of it, I should say.
I'm very proud of it.
You should be. It's great
One
work.
of the best things I've done for this for the last few years. But I usually create basically a Google Sheet where I go over, here's what we want to tweet about for KubeCon. Here's how you get the tweets ready to go. And then there's another tab in the sheet where I lay out basically the format for all of the tweets that we want. So like we need to tweet about the maintainer track sessions that are happening at this time. It'll go out at this time. And then we assign those to folks who are happy to do that work, which I hope lots of you will help out with. And all you'll have to do basically is go to the schedule for KubeCon, see what the sessions are at that time, and write a little tweet about what's going to be going on. So I try to make it as easy as possible and write all of the instructions out into that spreadsheet. There's an example somewhere, which I'll put into the notes when I find it. But I'm hoping to have that spreadsheet ready for next time for us to start assigning stuff.
If you have one started, feel free to add me.
I have like the old ones.
Right,
So I just
that's what
need
I
to
mean,
add
like,
the new piece.
When you
Yeah.
add, when you copy paste, feel free to add
Yeah.
me.
Will do.
Because I'm curious how you do this too. Like I want to see how the sausage is made behind this one because you do such a good job of it. And it's one of those things that's hard to do. And you make it look easy. So yeah. Like
I appreciate
this could be a great model for the community as a whole, right? Like not just marketing, but every SIG, right? Like
And it
SIG
wouldn't need to
talks.
be, it would be
Yeah.
a little bit different if we had the scheduling capability in our repo. Because
Right.
since we currently don't, and we want to schedule all of these because
Mhm.
KubeCon, we
Mhm.
do this spreadsheet and then we put them in manually.
Yeah, let me help you with the putting
Yeah.
in manually part at least.
Of course.
Right. Like, we can break that up if we have to. If it's all like, how many tweets was it last year? Do you remember?
Oh, it's like 40,
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Okay. Yeah, like I can take 20, you can pick 20. That's easy.
Yeah. But they're relatively simple tweets to write once you know what you want to write them on. So
Mhm.
I'll get that doc made for our next meeting so that we can start.
And if
signing those out.
folks like, I feel like this could be a good way for folks to get some contributions under their belt too, right? Like if you want to take one and say, or take 3 and say, I want to tweet these through the GitHub action and then just
Well, but you can't right
me.
now
Yes,
Well,
because of the scheduling. That's the issue.
Well, that's the thing. You have to ping me at the right, me or you at the right time, and we have to merge it. I can do that from
Yeah.
my phone. Like
It's true.
that was done it before.
Does
Where
make
he's
things a
like,
little more complicated.
It does, but if you need tweets to get in the org, right? Like if you need PRs to get in the org, I should say. That's one of the ways. So yeah.
So it's going to be pretty straightforward. I put the link to the doc in the notes, so you can check that out now. That doc has an instructions page, which is what you land on. And then there's an example of KubeCon EU 2021, and then KubeCon NA 2021, which is now also an example because it is done.
Nice.
So I'll just create the new
Amazing.
EU tab and start filling out the format like you see in the EU and NA examples.
Cool. This is awesome.
And that'll be a thing. I'm excited about it. Tweet work. New items.
All right. So I'm going to add an action item
Okay, please do.
of roles. Right.
Yeah,
Like,
maybe we should just change this one that I'm currently on to just be
Add
the
a note
roles
about-
one. Do you want to take it too instead of me? 'Cause
yeah,
I'm-
maybe. Yeah. That'd be fine.
Put you on it.
Yeah.
Chris.
Make sure I got the latest copy of the repo.
I'm just gonna, so I'm gonna change that one to review repo. Look into adding new roles.
Yep.
Paris desperately wants us to have new roles because the more defined the work that we do is, the easier it is for everyone to actually do it. But also when the definitions don't match what we actually do, then they become useless roles, and then our documentation is out of date and not useful. So it's a fine line with defining roles, I feel like, for us. But we can give it a
mean,
shot again.
Keep in mind, folks, this started out of, just a necessity. Like we have all these marketing type things that we need to bootstrap such a thing. And, it's a sub project, which is awesome. It's further than I thought it would get in the first year or so. But yeah, we definitely had like a certain like MO starting. And now that we're operating, yeah, there needs to be changes, right? If that makes sense.
So you're all part of that, and your feedback and your experiences are most welcome as we
Mhm.
continue to define what this group is and what we do.
So I am going to say, yeah, we're going to add a project manager for sure.
Hina said
Yep.
that she was interested in helping with the project manager stuff, which is why she created
Yeah.
this AI thing,
Uh-huh.
which is beautiful,
Yeah, which is
obviously.
why I want to add it, but I don't know what I should put in the guide. That's the biggest thing. I guess.
Does it have to be formalized just yet? I
mean, it doesn't have to. It can
Yeah.
become a formal role kind of
Okay.
as we go.
Sometimes roles are also siloing, right? Because they make, at least in my
I agree with
mind,
that.
it makes me think, oh, it's not in a role, so I can't contribute.
Not my responsibility to do that.
And then also, yeah, that exact opposite of, oh, this
The
is not
ownership, yeah.
in the scope of a project manager, so like I'm not contributing in that area, so I'm not going to.
Right.
I think so. What I would say is maybe it's important, but I wouldn't necessarily say if it should be a priority to build that role just yet until you see how it evolves. That way it doesn't create an immediate silo into the work.
No, I get it.
I agree with that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
But
I'll
then
speak
again-
here. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And no, I think like I talked to Paris once about these rules and all those things. What's even mentioned as creating a rule is good for the sustainability of the project, because today you might be doing the work, tomorrow you might not do the same work. But documenting what you are doing is very important, because it's important for the sustainability. People don't stay forever in this project.
I think that it's really about processes, though, because a lot of the time the
Yes.
work that we do, if there is no process around it and it's a manual one-time thing that is not useful the next time someone looks at that explanation of how it was done, then that also kind of negates the usefulness of the role, I feel like.
Yes.
True. And then that's where I'm also, my bread and butter is an agile coach. So I for the most part hate formal role definitions whenever they come up, because I know the silo where it is that I'm not going to do the work, or because it's not in my realm, or this is someone else's job. But
Mhm.
if we have processes that we agree on and we make sure that they're easily accessible, and have kind of checks and balances, that could mitigate it. That doesn't mean that something like a project manager role or other roles don't need to be defined. I would just recommend, maybe we start with the processes part and then
I agree with
the
that.
Sure.
project management informally.
Yeah. And like, I wasn't trying to write a handbook like today, if that makes
Yeah.
sense, right? Like, but
Yeah.
I want to be able to say we have a project manager, we have a process for shadows. We want to say that's open,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Like, I think that's the biggest thing that like is driving me towards wanting to do it, is that I want to say that shadow roles are open and
Mhm.
that Hina
Yeah.
is the lead kind of thing.
Well, in full transparency, this is something that I saw a tweet, and so I kind of like bit the
Mhm.
bullet, but it's another part of it is, if my experience is like, oh wow, this was much less intimidating. I think part of it is my responsibility that to go and share in with my community, and then maybe we could figure out how we take that into either, does this need a formal role so we can get more buy-in and contributions, or is there another way to share and get buy-in and contributions?
Sure. I think
But that's just my perspective, because I am someone that is always like, roles will always tell people that
the
this is
things they
not in my
shouldn't do.
wheelhouse.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
the
Rather
opposite
than what they
was,
should do, what they don't do.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, but to like be the devil's advocate, the reason that I am here is because I saw that there was a need for PM help, and I didn't even know that that was an opportunity in, upstream communities. So
Mhm.
Both things are
there's
true.
both sides.
Yeah, the if you build it, they will come mantra actually kind of works for open source, right? So that's kind of why I think maybe we can come with a creative name for it, right?
Mhm.
Like
Needs. Mhm.
I mean, it can still be
need
like,
management, right? Like I don't
it
know
can
what you want to call
absolutely
it.
still be called project manager. I think that if there should be something that's out there because you already see a need, and I might be the perfect reason, right? I might be that data point for, hey, this is why the use case should continue.
Mhm.
Is Hina showed up because she could recognize that.
Yeah.
And then within a community, as long as you're comfortable, everyone is pretty welcoming and is collaborative. I think that brings away the anxiety of someone coming in, especially non-technical, to come
Yeah.
into these kinds of things. But part of it is like the social responsibility of sharing those experiences and having people come in. So with that role, if you put out the role, it would, it has to come in with some kind of reassurance that, it's not here to silo, but then
Mhm.
also to encourage other people. And I mean, I hope it's going to be very successful. Like, I hope that you all like the contributions that I will start bringing to the table, but that would be then my responsibility to also go back to sort of the other project managers and agile coaches I work with and say, hey, actually, this thing that we think we can't be a part of, we absolutely can. And here's my own experience to it.
And then you give that talk at Kubecon.
Yeah.
Bingo. Exactly. I mean, totally.
Honestly.
Seriously, right? Like you could totally speak at KubeCon on that alone.
Mhm.
Like that would be an amazing talk.
Well, I can't really see, and my mind's a little wonky because it's Ramadan, and so
I know,
I had
but you have a
coffee,
great
so
idea.
I'll accept it because the last couple of days have been really wonky in a good way. I'll take it.
Like I kind of want to just say like significant contributors. That does sound a little exclusionary, but something like
I
that,
mean,
like
you can start
key
with project
contributors,
manager.
right? Like
You can absolutely say project manager. It's not it would make actually it would make project manager kind of activities very much marketable to the non-open source world.
Right.
So I think it's like, I actually don't disagree with the title.
Mhm.
I was just, to play devil's advocate, you know, sometimes the definition of roles would stop people from contributing to certain activities. And as long as there's a code, that code of conduct amongst the teams have the shared understanding that, hey, we are still here to do everything and collaborate together, I think project manager is a completely fine title.
Okay.
Agreed. Plus the
Yeah.
I started talking one way, and then as we progressed, I'm like, all right, no, never mind. Project manager is fine.
I think it was an important caveat that we needed to add to this work, which is saying
Exactly.
that it's not a silo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's
that covers a lot of our concerns there.
right. It's better. Like, so our purpose, it quote, right above where it lists all the different areas and everything, to better inform the Kubernetes contributor community and highlight their work to the broader ecosystem. I think we all do a fantastic job of that here, and spreading that wealth around to more folks that are interested is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think carving out that project man, like I want to carve out more stuff like that,
Yeah.
because yes, there is some responsibility on the leads. There's always going to be responsibility on any lead to make sure that like the meeting goes off without a hitch, hopefully, or, you know, it's all done on Slack if need be, that kind of thing, right? Like ultimately it bubbles up to the leads when stuff like kind of falls through the cracks, and then the leads can hand off to advisors or whatever, but or shadows if they have them, even better. But like not having it, I think, is doing more damage than having it would, if that makes sense.
I think we
Because
just
if it's
need
like
to.
roll open, yeah, right, like Hina, lead,
Yeah. I
shadow,
still,
open, yeah.
that's where I think it's definitely something that if there's a need to start getting a lot of people in the project management, with a project management hat into these communities, definitely define it. But it is something that I'm super fresh here, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but I would say see the value that, like, use me as a sandbox to see, okay, so how does that work? Because coming in my day job, I don't call myself a project manager, but I do a lot of project management work. And that's because it's sort of like, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm
Mhm.
here so we can track and collaborate. And
Right, that's what we
sort
need.
of, yeah, exactly.
And
So I
that,
think
like,
that,
I think our definition of project manager is a little bit more like agile manager. We just don't say it,
mm,
right?
right.
I
And
think-
then people hate the word agile. So I'm
me
an
too,
agile.
right? Like agile coach or
I
whatever, right? Like, I have
So
feelings,
I've
but yeah, go ahead. What did you
updated
write?
your action item. Your task, Chris, is to review the repo, see kind of what's out of date. Let us know about that since you'll be in there anyway. Add a description of what roles mean to us and add some new roles that you think that we need. Because I think that's what's missing here is we're just trying to define what a role is. So let's just add that to the repo saying like roles are collaborative positions where you take on responsibilities in a certain area most often. Something like that.
And
Yeah, I
what I could
will.
do. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
What I actually was going to say is, so the reason I don't call myself an agile coach or a project manager, depending on the environment, is because I know what I do, but I know the negative connotations. But the description is the same. So if it would help, when I can see, I can also like action item myself to draft up what I do in that realm of agile project management. Forget about the name of the role. We can figure out what doesn't scare people later or what invites and encourages
Right.
people. But like that essence of helping teams collaborate and coordinate their work is really what it is. It's not like the accountability coach that people think it is. It's like, no, we're in this together, but I'll help remind things. I want to make sure that things don't slip through the gaps and stuff like that. So I don't know if that would be helpful to you, Chris and team, but I can I can draft that sentence very quickly. Well, once I can type.
Yeah. I think once you can type, send that to me. I'll still be working on this, right? Like,
Okay.
this isn't going to be something that like I'm going to have. Well, I mean, I might have it done by the next meeting, but it might just be a work in progress at the next
Mhm.
meeting too. So I think that's totally fine. And I just found a typo somewhere, and I'm going to fix it.
Perfect. And then I'm
Right.
just gonna say, if you hate Agile and you hate project management, no worries, I feel you.
No, here's the thing, right? Like,
Everyone.
I think everybody's had a different experience, right? Like,
Mhm.
I've met some really great project managers. I've met some really great Agile coaches. The best Agile coach I ever met actually told the team, you don't need an Agile coach. You just need somebody to keep you on track, right?
Yep.
And like, literally, he was like, here's a project manager. This is what they do, and assigned them to us. So like, that I think was the most amazing thing, and from my experiences. But other people have
Yeah.
different experiences.
No, that's
And I
why
want to
I
make
said-
sure, I want
okay.
you to feel comfortable with whatever role we put you in and whatever it is called.
Yeah. And I'm comfortable. I just know that everyone's experience, especially in this, like in the tech industry in
Mhm.
general, is like you can have really good and bad experiences based on what a team's needs are, but there are negative connotations for reasons. So I just come in, and whenever I come to a new team, I'm like, I'm just here to listen, and we do what we want. That's more effective. But you
Mhm.
can't really make that an official role and convince people to put budget into there in a traditional sense. So
Right.
I think if it grows, like it's the perfect role for anything, open source, etc. And we can figure that out as we go. But
So we
Ideally,
have
we
6
create a
minutes
couple
left.
open roles that folks can fill in that are already here, and then if they need org membership, become a shadow or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
do the work, get you in.
Yep. Sounds good. So you've got that task, and we'll check back up on it next week.
Yes.
Chris?
Forking now.
So, sorry, I'm bringing up the task board to see what we have in progress.
Yeah.
We have an article 3 from APAC Meet Our Contributor series. How's that going?
I haven't attended meetings for a pack blog
Okay.
series for last 2 weeks.
I'll go for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Please.
we are still in progress with the China region, updating the responses, and as most of the folks were inactive this week, so no, not much, but yeah, still it's in progress for the
Okie
third.
dokie. We'll leave that there then. And then the community meeting blog post is the only other thing that we have on our tasks board right now. So that's
Oh,
still
Is
something
Nigel
that we're,
done with that?
well, it's an
Not Nigel.
evergreen
Right.
thing.
Nigel did his, right? Like, that's
Yeah, that is a
out.
good question though.
He posted a draft of his blog. Don't think it would actually made it into PR. Let me go check. I might be wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need to
I
ping
don't
Nigel
see
then
it.
on that?
Yeah, I posted the link to his draft in the ContribEx Slack channel a while ago.
Okay.
Sorry, that was probably me not paying attention, or being busy is what I call it now. I'm not supposed to say not paying attention. I was busy.
So do we need to assign a
Review it,
task for
I
someone
guess.
to,
Yeah.
well, I think we already reviewed it, right? I already reviewed it, maybe, I think.
Oh.
I did, but I would like to get a second advice because
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a while since we've had one of these blogs, or I don't know if you ever did a blog post a committee meeting, but everything seemed good. But just a second advice would be good. I'll find the link again, and I'll resend it, and I'll tag contributor comms.
Much appreciated.
It was reviewed by the blog team as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure if he has gone for the PR, but
Yeah, I don't think I made
believe-
it to PR, but
Yeah,
you know what? Maybe it's I have some time today. I'll just make it into PR, or I'll just actually no, I think it's better if Nigel actually makes it into PR. And but if
Yeah.
but if he needs help, I could create a PR for him.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, and let me know if you can't do it or Deva, you can't do it,
Yeah.
right? Like I can help somehow, some way.
Yeah, March
Yes,
28th. All right, I found it, send it, and I'll put it in this chat. Then I will put it in the, where did my chat go? Put it in the Slack channel as well.
And we have 2 minutes left, but there was one other thing that Purniswar mentioned in the chat, which is that he expressed interest last meeting in restarting the SIG Spotlights series. So I went ahead and sent him all the resources that we had from that initiative
Tell me now.
after our meeting last week. So I guess you can do that if you want to. Bernasar was asking any thoughts on moving forward with it anytime soon. Do we have, like, I see no reason not to. If you have time to work on one, they take a long time to get done because you have to interview the SIG co-chairs, and that usually takes a while, and then you take a while to get that into a blog form and everything. So if you want to start one, I say go for it, is my opinion. And Chris seems to have dropped off, so.
Okay. If you guys
That is my
need
opinion.
I'm a co-chair for SIG Docs in case you need someone to interview.
There you go.
All right.
I'd say
Yeah.
pick that one up, Bernasar. Oh dear. Okay, Chris had to drop. But yes, Bernasar, connect with Ray, and we can get that going. So I'll add that to our action item table actually, so that we can check in on that next time, because I know those are difficult to make progress on.
Yeah.
And we are at time. So I'm going to call that good. I'm just writing out that action item.
just wanted to tell that we had a ping 3 days back from Josh about a new survey from SIG release.
It's not a new survey. I think it's the same survey that's still open. But yes, I think that we did do a tweet on that when he asked. Also another thing, another action item that I had wanted to add was to create a new tweet about the contributor summit that's going to be happening at KubeCon EU in Valencia. I retweeted a tweet from Bob Killen yesterday about that, but we could use another tweet to explain, like, here's the day, here's kind of the estimated, like, what we're going to do. It's basically just going to be a hangout. I think there's a email in KDEV that we can link to.
Also, I think the form is out. We can put that in the tweet. Yeah, otherwise you could do it.
Okay. And
Just a last quick thing, if we still have just a small time.
please.
So I wanted to ask, have we ever tried using the project board for managing or tracking all the tweets before? Because I guess Debabrata is have made a spreadsheet and all the tweets are happening, all the tweets are drafted there. But won't it be good if we also create a project board action, what we can say, a page, not page, a
Board.
project board slot where we could say that now the annual report tweets are going on, or the KubeCon EU tweets are in progress, or something like that. so we can keep a good track of everything there itself.
We could transition that to that. What do you think about that, Debabrata? You've been maintaining the
it's an
spreadsheet.
additional work because I
that?
stopped maintaining the spreadsheet since last 2 weeks because of the release team work and here. So it's always about the maintainer. If you could maintain it for us, then yeah, go ahead. It's obviously good to be organized. But then again, yes, these tweets mostly the folks who do the PRs, it gets merged instantly, like, within 1 or 2 hours by Krish. Usually the tweets which I did since last 2 weeks got merged within 5-10 minutes of putting the PR. I just ping to Krish and it gets merged essentially. So yeah, once
another-
it gets merged. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Another issue with that is the lack of ability to schedule, because like you said, they get tweeted immediately, and often when we get an ask for a tweet, it's like, we need this right now. So there's no point in making a board item to say we need to make this tweet when you just need to go ahead and write the tweet at that time. So that's a couple of the reasons why we don't. And also another reason why we don't have that currently is because we were still figuring out the board situation when we created that other spreadsheet. So
yeah, an interesting idea is like you are going to manage the KubeCon EU all the tweets, so we can create a card where it would say in progress KubeCon EU tweets, and it would link to the spreadsheet. We would be currently doing drafting of the tweets, so that everything would be in.
yeah, we can do that and
manner.
add it to the board. Though honestly, I don't use the board as much as I use the notes doc, of course. So that's here in the notes doc already. And I probably should add it to the board just for good measure. But as a standard process, I think there's still more work that needs to be done to make that a useful method of managing tweet work. But thank you for mentioning it. We might actually evolve to a point where that could be a way that we manage tweet work eventually. I think we'll need scheduling before that'll be possible. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. And I will add the KubeCon thing to the KubeCon tweets to the board though. I'll do that right after this meeting. All righty. There's something else I was going to add. Oh, the SIG spotlight. That down there? I don't know. Anyway, notes are there. Everything is in there in one way or another. Any other last minute items before we drop? We're 5 minutes over, but I can hang out if people have last minute things.
Have a great weekend.
Sounds good. So I'm going to go ahead and stop recording. All right.